We're going to get to Gene Frenette here, and I'm going to get his opinions on Shanahan, but this is what, and it's not going to derail the show, but we have a conversation like this. We're just discussing this yesterday. In a 408, who does Bonte hate more, Kyle or Farhan? Well, I don't like the way Farhan does business, but I don't hate anybody. Hate is a very strong word.
Shanahan is so much better than Farhan.
I got nothing but love for Shanahan. Shanahan's a good coach. I've never once said in the history, in Shanahan's tenure, I've never once said he should be fired. Maybe I said the seats should get a little warmer, but I've never once said Shanahan should be fired as head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. That has never come out of my mouth, ever. So stop with that, please. All right, anyway, Gene Frenette, columnist at the Florida Union-Times. We're going to figure out who the Jacksonville Jaguars are. They're rolling. We do know they won 5 in a row. We do know they have Trevor Lawrence. We do know they have Travis Etienne and some good wide receivers, but who are the Jags? Gene, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Roast out here in the Bay Area on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, Bonte, Joe, thanks for having me.
Anytime, man, anytime. So the Jaguars are red hot, and they got rolling there in London, beating the Buffalo Bills and the Atlanta Falcons, and they've brought that over back to the States, and they're playing some good football here. How are they viewing this football game against the 49ers here on Sunday? Is it a big game for them? Is this a measuring stick game for the Jacksonville Jaguars? What's the chatter out of Duval County?
Well, I guess every game's I always chuckle when people say, hey, it's a big game. It's a big game. Well, you only play 17 games in a season.
Right.
So every time you lose, and in the 49ers case, when you start leaking oil a little bit, then the games become bigger, right?
Right.
You're trying to get it back, and in the Jaguars' case, you're trying to keep it rolling. But yeah, I think on some levels it is a little bit of a measuring stick game. But is it a season maker?
No, for you guys, probably not, right?
Yeah. They're an AFC Super Bowl. They're a Super Bowl contender if they win, and they're not if they lose. I wouldn't go that far. But, I think it is a little bit of a measuring stick game. And, the 49ers, even though they've lost, three straight games, they're still one of the best teams in the NFL. Where they are on that landscape, I don't know. And Brock Purdy has sort of, the bloom is off the rose a little bit in the last few weeks. But, the Jaguars don't exactly have a history of greatness going up against the NFC teams. They lost like 17 or 18 in a row until they beat the Cowboys in overtime last year.
Wow.
And then they beat the Saints and the Falcons this year. So they're on a 3-game NFC winning streak. But, all I know is I remember when the 49ers came here 2 years ago to Jacksonville. They beat them 30-10. Of course, this was in the middle of the whole Urban Meyer debacle.
Right.
And what I remember the most about that game is Deebo Samuel had only one catch, but he ran, he had like nine carries for like 75 yards. And, it just goes to show you you don't just have one two-way performer in Christian McCaffrey, but Deebo Samuel is capable of doing that as well. So when you have two weapons like that, if you have it going on that particular day and you don't turn the ball over, you're going to be tough to beat.
Second best start in franchise history for the Jaguars, or at least since 1999 when they started off 7-1. You referenced the Urban Meyer debacle. How important has Doug Pederson been to the development of Trevor Lawrence?
I think he's everything. I'm not just saying this now in hindsight. I had a bad vibe about Urban Meyer the moment they named him the coach. I just didn't think he was, I wondered whether he would be a fit for the NFL. Now, I never dreamed it would be, it would be the dumpster fire that it ended up being in such a quick amount of time. But that being said, Doug Pederson is everything for this franchise. Absolutely everything.
Why do you say that? Can you expand on that?
Well, listen, you got a guy that's a Super Bowl winning coach. I had things going very well in Philadelphia until things with the owner got a little bit sideways, and then the timing works out perfect. Urban Meyer flaming out the way he did was the best thing that could happen to the Jaguars because it made Doug Pederson available at a time when you're getting him after he got to take a year off and recharge his batteries and all that other stuff. So it was perfect timing for Doug, and it was perfect timing for the Jaguars, and it was perfect timing for Trevor. For for once in the history of, or at least the recent history of the Jaguars, the planets all aligned together for them to be where they are now. Whereas, they had, except for that 2017 season, this was 15 years of misery for the Jaguars.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Gene Frenette from the Florida Union-Times. A couple more for him. Kind enough to join us here on the Morning Rush on 95.7 The Game. So who is this Jaguars defense? How do they attack this Niners offense? Because the Niners love to run the football. They love to play action pass. They love the slant routes. How has this Jacksonville defense been playing, and how do they plan to attack this Niners offense?
Well, that's going to be the most compelling storyline to this whole game. The Jaguars have one of the best run defenses in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Don't have one of the better pass defenses in terms of yards allowed, but they stop the run. And the San Francisco 49ers are very good at establishing the run. So, that's where the game's going to be won. It's going to be won at the line of scrimmage. What the Jaguars have done, now listen, the Jaguars are 30th in the NFL in pass defense, right? In yards allowed. They give up a lot of yards. But what they don't do is give up a lot of touchdowns. No team has gotten a turnover from the Jaguars and responded by getting a touchdown off that turnover.
Wow.
Not one time has that happened.
Interesting.
Because the defense is doing a good job in the red zone, right? Mm-hmm. And they're getting takeaways. They lead the NFL in takeaways with 18. So when you get a lot of takeaways, you can give up a lot of yards. But if you're getting, you can let a team drive 55, 60 yards on you, but if you end up getting a fumble at the end of it, then it's just as good as if you forced a 3 and out.
Are they giving up pass yards, Gene, because people can't run the ball against them and they're playing from behind? Why are they giving up so many pass yards? Because their secondary has some good names there. Rayshon Jenkins, not a bad safety. Trey Herndon, he's been a corner for a long time. I like him at the nickelback spot. Why are people passing? Or is it because of this front seven led by Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, where teams are like, you know what, we're just going to throw it. We're going to quit on the run game.
Well, part of it is the fact that the Jaguars have been playing from out in front. During this 5-game winning streak, they've only trailed for 7 minutes, and that was 3-0 against the Colts when they took 7 minutes to go down and respond with a touchdown drive.
Wow.
That's the only time they've been trailing in the last 5 games.
Wow.
So they've been playing in front, and so teams have had to, in the second half, have had to throw the ball a lot more. That's part of it, right? And when you got a big lead, you're probably not going to be as aggressive defensively. So you give teams a little bit bigger cushion, let them eat up clock. That's all part of it too, right? So, but it starts with the fact that they're stopping the run, and so teams feel like they can, better move the chains by throwing the ball, and that's worked to some degree. But the bottom line is if you're winning the turnover margin game, that's a pretty good start to winning in the NFL.
The 49ers' Achilles heel tends to be their offensive line and their secondaries, their DBs in particular. What is the Achilles heel of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I would say if I had to pick one, I would say it's their third down. Their third down efficiency is only about 35%, about 22nd in the league, something like that. And they're, for whatever reason, third and short has been a problem for them. I think on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, there's something like 12 of 21, which is, that's not a very high batting. I'm sorry, that's 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, right?
Right.
That's not a very high batting average when you have that short a distance. So they've had some problems in that. And here's another thing that you'll find interesting. 3rd and long is never a good high percentage, right, to convert a first down, right? On 3rd and 8 or longer, excluding 2 victory formation kneel downs at the end of the game, the Jaguars are 2 of 33 on 3rd or longer. With a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence and one of the better receiving corps in the NFL, in my opinion, when you look at the whole litany of them, it's unbelievable that they would be that bad on 3rd and 8 or longer. So, Trevor Lawrence said the other day, part of it is we need to stop getting into 3rd downs. We need to start converting first downs more on 1st and 2nd down so that you don't get to the 3rd down.
Interesting.
This offense the Jaguars have had has been just okay so far. They, if you look at the stats for Trevor and everything, they're all solid, right? But Trevor's only got 9 touchdown passes. which is the same amount he had after 8 games last year. And then in the second half of the season, he got it rolling, right? So, the Jaguars, I do believe they're a Super Bowl contender. I think they're legit in that regard. But it's going to be a fist fight for first, second, third or fourth seed, right? I mean, it's really, Kansas City kind of looks like they're ahead, but their offense isn't all that great either. And you look at the NFC, it's the Eagles, then it's the Cowboys, and it's the 49ers, and then there's everybody else.
No doubt. Last one for you. We got about 30 seconds here before we have to break, Gene. Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen. We know about Josh Allen. He's got 8-9 sacks on the season so far. What about Trayvon Walker? Because the Jaguars selected him above Aiden Hutchinson, and we hear a lot about Hutchinson. We see the Lions, they're coming, they're roaring. What about Trayvon Walker? How's he been for the Jaguars?
He's been a really solid player. He's one of the biggest reasons why their run defense is as good as it is. Now, obviously, people pay attention to sacks, and they start judging edge rushers. All they do is they look at the sack totals. Oh, this guy's got 7.5, but this guy's only got 3.5. So, therefore, the guy with 7.5 is a way better pass. Well, it's part of the measuring stick for a pass rusher, but it's not everything. I mean, Trayvon Walker, because of the push he's able to get, and he doesn't have moves. He's a power rusher. That's what he is. And he has gotten some sacks for Josh Allen, I would say. He's gotten a couple of. So they're just not getting. They're not getting enough sacks. Josh Allen's got like 9 out of the team's 16 sacks. Trayvon Walker, I think, has got 3.5. Aiden Hutchinson's got 4.5.
Right.
But I don't think the Jaguars will die on the hill that Trayvon Walker was the better overall draft pick for them than Aiden Hutchinson.
Well,
now, people can disagree with that, but that's how they feel.
Gene, very good information there. I hope to see you at the Rose Bowl when Florida State is playing in the playoff, when you travel out here to cover the Seminoles for a national championship. We're in the national championship semifinal. My Florida State Seminoles look good, Gene. I know they do.
Yeah, they're looking good. We don't travel with them anymore. The Tallahassee paper. Yeah, the traveling with the college teams is no longer in the picture anymore. We travel with our NFL team, but that's it. But I still write about them. But yeah, they're looking good. I don't know if they'll win it all, but I think they'll certainly be in the playoffs.
No doubt about that. Gene, really good stuff, man. Really good information there, breaking down and tipping our audience to who the Jacksonville Jaguars are and what they do well and what they don't do well. Thanks a lot, Gene. Good luck covering the game, man. Have fun.
Okay, guys. Take care. Thanks.
Anytime. Gene Frenette, Florida Union Times.